Hello everyone and welcome to May B&B 724 YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. Steffy and Hayes are forced to flee after Luna's deadly escape. According to teasers for Bold and the Beautiful, Luna Nozawa breaks out of Spencer's trap and flees. In order to safeguard Hayes from Finn's violent daughter, will Steffy send him to Europe? Will Europe be far enough after Luna's deadly escape send staff running? Everything took a fantastic turn just when we thought Will Spencer had Luna Nozawa just where they wanted her. The pitfall of seduction. Destroyed. Luna evading capture. You wager. Is Steffy Forrester preparing to travel to Europe? Getting closer every second. The spectacularly backfired trap. This crazy week that had us riveted to our devices is worth discussing. Steffy, Finn, and Will Spencer believe they had the ideal scheme. Have will get Luna to make a confession on tape. It makes sense, doesn't it? The girl has already framed her own mother, Poppy, and killed Tom Starr and Paul Hollister. To detonate this ticking time bomb, they required hard proof. Luna was enamored with Will's charms from the beginning of Monday. The subsequent kiss? Let's just say that Electra, who was observing, was not impressed. Luna, meantime, was occupied with protecting herself to Sheila Carter, since these two would undoubtedly come into contact. The whole birds of a feather thing. This is where things start to become very interesting, though. Our murderess discovered the entire plot by Thursday. Will's expression when she realized. Priceless. And terrifying. Since we are all aware of what Luna does to those who oppose her, aren't we? In Friday's episode, Sheila gave Deacon shocking revelations about how betrayal is the Spencer way, while Luna vanished into thin air. A killer's stepdaughter's perverse preoccupation. What's the true horror here? Luna really thinks Steffy is the bad guy here. In her twisted mind, Steffy is preventing her from seeing her father, the same father she didn't learn about until January 2025, when the Finnegan family was shocked by the paternity findings. Steffy! Do you wish to keep me away from my father? You'll regret it. Everyone should get shivers from such words. This isn't your typical irate teen outburst. This woman has previously demonstrated that she will murder anyone who stands in her way. When Tom Starr claimed to be her father, he learnt that the hard way. Hollister, Paul? It was the wrong time and place. Not to mention the fact that she discredited her own mother. She is currently targeting Steffy, who, as we all know, prioritizes keeping her family safe, particularly Tiny Hayes, who is also Finn's son. Can you see where this is headed? Is Europe the only place to find safety? With Luna on the loose and obviously targeting the Forrester Finnegan family, there's a lot of conjecture that Steffy may decide to leave the kids behind and move to Europe. And truthfully, is she to blame? Consider it. Luna has demonstrated her ability to cold-blooded killing, putting innocent individuals in danger, extensive and horrifying manipulation. And now, when cornered, going totally off the grid. I would be on the first flight out of Lax with Hayes and Kelly if I was Steffy. Although fleeing isn't exactly the Forrester way, what if you're up against a murderer who believes you're snatching her father? All bets are off. Furthermore, let's face it, this show has always been most popular in Europe. Do you recall when Steffy ran away there after losing her child? Or when Douglas was taken to Paris by Thomas? Nowadays, it's almost a tradition. What takes place if Daddy's girl doesn't follow through? The crucial query, what would Finn do if his biological daughter emerges as the public's worst enemy? This is the same individual who found it difficult to break off contact with his psychobio mom, Sheila Carter. He now has a deadly daughter who is desperate to make love to him? What awful genes. Will he attempt to keep Luna safe? Make an effort to contact her? Or will he finally stand his ground and reject his tangled family tree in favor of Steffy and the children? Not to mention the obverse, what if Luna determines that Hayes is the best method to attract Daddy's attention? We have seen the lengths she will go to in order to achieve her goals. For our resident sociopath, a small-scale kidnapping wouldn't be out of character. The repercussions nobody foresaw. Everyone is on edge because of Luna in the breeze and the LAPD's seeming ineffectiveness. Every 5 seconds, Will must be checking over his shoulder. Ultimately, he is the one who deceived her. We have also outlined the consequences for those who cross Luna Nozawa. What worries me the most, though, is Sheila's involvement. That remark that the Spencer way is betrayal? It wasn't idle chatter. Sheila is aware of what it's like to be shunned and to desire family ties that are denied to her. Is she really assisting Luna? 2 generations of madmen collaborating? That would be a terrible situation. One thing is obvious as we approach July and Luna continues to elude capture. No one is safe. Not Tiny Hayes, not Will, nor Steffy, and certainly not Finn. Is Steffy actually going to run away to Europe? Can Luna really be apprehended by the police before she commits another crime? Most importantly, who will be targeted by Luna when she eventually reappears? Nick's concerning news for Brooke is that Steffy's secret assistant deceives Luna. Nick Marone will engage in some eavesdropping, according to the June 23rd to 27th spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Nick will be shocked to discover a marriage proposal underway while spying on Taylor Hayes and Ridge Forrester at Illinois Giardino. Nick will inform Brooke Logan of Taylor's proposal to Ridge after he witnesses and hears it. Brooke will undoubtedly be caught off guard and wonder what Ridge's response was. Taylor will receive a proposal response from Ridge, so we'll see if he accepts or rejects it. In any case, when Ridge confesses to Brooke later, it will be time to tell the complete truth. Will Ridge acknowledge that, given Taylor's history of broken heart syndrome, he fears shattering her heart? Will Ridge admit that he would still want to be with Brooke if circumstances were different? In any event, Brooke will get some advice from Katie Logan as she attempts to manage her tumultuous romantic life. As long as Ridge remains with Taylor, Nick will continue to believe that Brooke belongs with him rather than Ridge, and Nick's dedication will become more alluring. Sheila Sharp will discuss Spencer's and their propensity for treachery with Deacon Sharp. Sheila might recall how, during that FBI sting, Bill Spencer acted as though he was in love with her. Will Spencer will now go on his own covert mission, which John Finn Finnegan and Steffy Forrester will highly value. Will act as though his relationship with Electra Forrester is gone and approach Luna Nozawa as Finn and Steffy will be depending on him to do so. May's relationship with Electra may suffer as a result, though, as she may find his kisses with Luna repulsive. Even though all of this is a part of a takedown plan, Electra won't like it, according to B&B spoilers. Luna will soon experience the anguish and rage of betrayal. Will's ploy may put Luna in a position where she must flee as she will ultimately be on the run. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna would need to flee for more illegal activity. Steffy is forced to flee with Hayes after Luna's deadly escape. 5,000-word paragraph. The Bold and the Beautiful just unleashed a plot so explosive that it left fans gasping for air and characters running for cover in a soap opera environment that lives on mayhem, deceit, and treachery. In addition to destroying the sense of security, Luna Nozawa's fatal escape from Will Spencer's trap completely changed the course of events and sent the Forrester, Spencer, and Finnegan families into a terrifying downward spiral of anxiety, paranoia, and unfeasible decisions. The strong-willed matriarch Steffy Forrester, who has endured everything from rivalries to Ridge Forrester's flip-flopping, is now doing something she never would have imagined, fleeing, not just from heartbreak or scandal, but from a woman she once thought of as a distant cousin. Yes, Luna, the once sweet and somewhat misunderstood designer, has turned into a full-fledged menace and a heartless murderer whose quest for acceptance in Finn's life has driven her in a violent and perverse direction. Will Spencer, Electra Forrester, Steffy, and Finn started the week by planning what they believed to be a clever sting operation, utilize Will's attractiveness and unmistakable Spencer charm to approach Luna, extract a confession, and document it for the police. After all, Luna had already been implicated in the murders of Paul Hollister and Tom Starr, and she had been able to successfully blame her own mother, Puppy Nozawa, for crimes. The child had shown herself to be a skilled manipulator who had no regrets, and the Forresters and Spencers would take action if the Lapt didn't. Everything appeared to be proceeding as planned at first. Suave and self-assured, Will wooed Luna with well-practiced lines, and Luna, in need of approval and affection, appeared to fall for it. Electra, who was watching from a monitoring feed, almost rushed into the room herself because of how intense, unnerving, and full of hidden agendas their kiss was. However, Luna caught on more quickly than anyone anticipated thanks to her keen intuition, which she developed throughout a lifetime of emotional rejection. Just one look. Will twitched his eye. That was all that was required. By Thursday, Luna's expression had changed, with a smirk of malice and ice in her eyes. She said to Will in a whisper, "You think you can outsmart me?" The game had obviously changed. In an instant, Luna disappeared, leaving a trail of broken glass, terrified comrades, and the nagging knowledge that they had woken a sleeping dragon. The predator had turned into the prey. That dragon was hunting now. Sheila Carter informing Deacon that betrayal is the Spencer way was the most sinister cliffhanger of Friday. For most people, that would have been a casual remark. However, the weight of that phrase implied something darker for viewers who were aware of Sheila's past. Possibly even a partnership between Sheila and Luna, two deadly women who share a common thread of delusion and retaliation. Sheila understands what it's like to long for family, to be denied it, and to react tragically when you do. Is she now allowing Luna? Could they be conspiring behind the scenes to ruin the lives of all those who have ever abandoned them? The fear really started to set in as Luna disappeared into the shadows, not just for Will, who now fears he might have become her next victim, but also for Steffy Forrester, who knows better than anyone that Luna's passion goes beyond retaliation or power. It has to do with family. In particular, her family. Now that the sting operation has been made public, Steffy is aware that her family is in actual, immediate danger after Luna accuses her of putting herself in the way of her biological father, Finn. Luna has repeatedly demonstrated that she will stop at nothing to achieve her goals, and her children, particularly Hayes and Kelly, are at risk. Tom Starr ended up dead because he believed he was her father. Paul Hollister became collateral damage because he was in the wrong location at the wrong time. Her own mother, Poppy, was carelessly put under the bus. What then prevents Luna from pursuing Steffy or, Weiss, Hayes? As she stands over her sleeping son with suitcases at her feet and tears in her eyes, Steffy's mind is constantly replaying that nightmare. If Luna's fixation with family degenerates into violence once more, Hayes, the helpless youngster who symbolizes not only her heart but her entire world, is most likely to be the target. Steffy makes the only choice a mother can make when Finn is caught between his past and present and the authorities are lagging behind. She flees. Not indefinitely, maybe not for long, but far enough to protect her son. And Europe is the ideal place to vanish. In many ways, the European escape has become a Forrester rite of passage. Europe has always provided a sense of safety and distance, from Thomas escorting Douglas to Paris to Steffy recuperating in Monaco from personal catastrophes. The stakes are bigger this time, though. This is about surviving, not about controversy. A split or a media frenzy won't be the reason for Steffy's departure. She is leaving because there is a murderer on the loose, and she has made it clear that she will not be getting her revenge. Finn, on the other hand, is drowning in confusion and guilt. How does a father deal with his daughter's murderous behavior? That she has harmed those he cares about? Not only is his heart split between Luna and Steffy, but it is also split between instinct and duty. Can his daughter be saved? Is it worth his while to try? Or is the only way to let her go, to cut off contact and hope she doesn't return for more? However, Finn is familiar with Luna. Behind her eyes, he can feel the pain and instability. Even worse, he recognizes aspects of himself in her, including his need for acceptance, his desire for family, and his rage at the rejection of that love. He has been taught to heal as a doctor. He is supposed to protect as a parent. However, how can you shield the defenseless from your own blood? Will Spencer, meantime, has been marked. Once his greatest asset, his charm has now turned into Luna's main goal. Furthermore, even though he may appear composed under duress, his fear is evident on his face. Terrified not only by what Luna could do, but also by the consequences of his endeavor. Disgusted by the part he played and the risk it posed, Elektra no longer wants to interact with him. Furthermore, Sheila's vague cautions simply serve to stoke the flames. Will, is he merely a pawn in a bigger, more sinister game. A pawn in a retaliatory scheme that extends well beyond Luna's twisted father issues. The tension is evident back in Los Angeles. Ever the opportunist, Nick Marone finds himself at the center of the mayhem when he eavesdrops on Taylor and Ridge's private time at Illinois Giardino. A proposal of marriage? Really? As Luna is out there deciding what to do next? The idea that Ridge might be entangling Brooke in this mess once more infuriates Nick, in addition to the tone-deaf timing. Heart racing, he hurries to Brooke and warns her of Ridge's waning commitment and Taylor's desperate gambit. The news caught Brooke off guard, and he is now unsure of what to believe. Although her heart still beats for Ridge, something deep within her is stirred by Nick's love and concern. If Ridge is considering marriage proposals while Luna stalks their family like a predator, can she really trust him? One thing is becoming more and more obvious as July approaches. The Finnegans are hanging on a knife, the Spencers are collapsing, and the Forrester family is broken. Betrayal is the Spencer way, as Sheila Carter once said, reverberates across every scene. But treachery isn't just the Spencers. There is evidence of treachery everywhere. Will betrays Luna in his trap. Finn betrays Luna by supporting Steffy. Ridge betrays Taylor by continuing to have feelings for Brooke. And Luna betrays everyone she has ever known in her attempt to fit in. And in the middle of everything, Steffy is attempting to protect her kids from a storm that has already started. The most dangerous lady in Los Angeles is now Luna Nozawa, who was once an outsider looking in. Her departure was symbolic as well as physical. A declaration of war, a rejection of morals. Furthermore, her goals are personal rather than arbitrary. Her father was taken by Steffy. Will played with her emotions. Poppy left her. She recalls each and every slight, insult, and betrayal. She is also on her way. Whether Luna will strike again is not the question. When is the question? And when she does, who will be in her path? Although Europe might offer a short-term buffer, Luna's anger and thirst for vengeance are limitless. Over Los Angeles, as the sun sets, one thing is certain. The bold and the beautiful has never been more daring, riskier, or more theatrical than it is now, as the Forrester jet blasts off into the skies. Luna's lethal escape is a reckoning more than just a story twist. The horror is only getting started for Steffy, Finn, Will, and everyone else caught in the crossfire. Ridge's return to Brooke is unabated by Taylor's desperate proposal. According to B&B spoilers, Taylor Hayes makes a bold move by asking Ridge Forrester to marry him at Illinois Giardino. As Taylor struggles to keep Brooke away, Nick Marone watches the startling scene. Will Ridge agree? As Nick observes from the shadows, Taylor's desperate proposal shocks Ryder. Oh, my own. Good. Was Taylor Hayes merely acting in the way I believe she did? Listen, aficionados of soap operas, I thought I had seen everything because I've been watching The Bold and the Beautiful for years. Evil twins? Verify. Storylines that have been revived? Verify again. However, what about Taylor proposing to Ridge Forrester in Illinois Giardino? I didn't anticipate that plot surprise at all. When anxiety overtakes. Let's discuss what is actually taking place here. Taylor is feeling desperate, not only passionate. And truthfully, who can blame her? Taylor is aware that she has an uphill struggle ahead of her as Nick Marone has returned to town and is getting close to Brooke Logan. Even after being married to Ridge twice and having 3 children together, the woman is still unable to stop him from seeing Brooke. What is the job of our favorite psychiatrist, then? She decides to handle things herself. No more waiting for Ridge to demonstrate his dedication. You can no longer rely on him to ask you to marry him. No. Taylor is organizing the entire proposal and purchasing her own engagement ring. A modern woman. Yes. But yikes, too. The ambush at Illinois Giardino. Imagine this scenario. Ridge arrives at Deacon Sharp's restaurant believing it to be just another meal. Nothing fancy, maybe some spaghetti and a little wine. Then, BAM. After taking out a ring, Taylor begins to speak about their future together. According to the spoilers, Ridge will be caught off guard. And truthfully, I am, too. We know Taylor as a calm, professional psychiatrist who always has things under control, but this isn't him. The never-ending Ridge-Eye-Brook merry-go-round has pushed this woman to the brink. Nick's direct view of the drama. However, this is where things become quite juicy. The drama surrounding Nick seeing the proposal and its implications for the plot must be further developed. I should keep the tone dramatic and gossipy the whole time. When all of this is happening, Nick Marone happens to be at Illinois Giardino. Discuss the importance of being in the right place at the right moment. With those cunning eyes of his, you know he will be watching every moment of this proposal. And after observing Taylor's desperate action, what will Nick do first? Naturally, run directly to Brooke. Hey, Logan, you'll never guess what I just saw at Deacon's place. Is already in my mind. This is just what Nick needs to show Brooke that Ridge isn't really as devoted to Taylor as he says he is. Because, let's face it, you shouldn't have to pop the question yourself if a man genuinely wants to marry you. Ridge's unachievable decision. Ridge, poor thing. The man will be placed in the most uncomfortable situation possible. In front of a crowded restaurant, Taylor is essentially pleading with him to show his love while holding a ring. What is he meant to do?